Hi guys, welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to talk about flying acro mode line of sight, and the most important thing to learn flying acro line of sight is that you must also practice in FPV simulator, because that will teach you how to move the craft in acro mode, to balance it, to move it around, and when to stop flying it, and when not to crash, how not to crash. So that's very important to train in acro in FPV simulator. So once you get comfortable with how the craft move in acro mode, then what you need to do, you need to buy a tiny whoop type of craft like this. Mine is a magnifier, and I've taken away the camera because the magnifier one doesn't really hold the camera very well, and there's no lift. But anyway, I took off the camera, and so I'm using this as my acro trainer. The reason why I use this as an acro trainer is because in this tiny whoop style of craft is very resistant to crash and breakage. So you can practice this in the house, and there is no danger of breaking the craft or damaging anything. And also because it's small and light, the movement is not so aggressive, so you can fly around in the house and using acro mode. So in the rest of the video, I'm going to talk about angle mode and acro mode, the movement, and after that you're gonna see 3 videos. The first video is where I overcompensate purposely to show you that you don't have to move the sticks too much in acro mode, otherwise you're going to crash the craft. And the second and third video is really just to show you the movement of the quad in acro mode. So it's very important that if you want to learn line of sight acro, learn in FPV, and then buy something like this to learn the craft in real life, and you should be okay after a while. So it takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of discipline, but I hope my video will be able to help you learn flying acro line of sight. And yeah, hope you guys like this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Until next time, see you. Angle mode. Throttle goes up, you will stay in position. Throttle down, goes down, stops. Throttle up, stays in whatever position that is supposed to stay at this particular point. And so when you throttle up again, you go further up. Throttle down, slows. Fully down, stops. Angle mode, yaw. So throttle up, you go up, stays there. So it's balanced. So when you yaw to the left, you keep your sticks to the left, you will yaw in this axis until you release the stick. Same with the right. You yaw to the right on this axis until you let go of the stick. Then throttle down, goes down. Angle mode, forward motion. Throttle up, it goes up, stays in position, and when you push the stick forward, you need to hold it there. So depending on the angle, you could push further up, and there's usually a maximum angle. So even if you push to the highest, you will go say 45 degrees or something that has been fixed by the flight controller. So you let go, they will stay in position. So basically, when you want to move forward, you push the stick up a little bit, hold it there, you move forward. When you let go, it will balance out at that particular position. So if you move forward again, a little bit, you move, let go, go back. If you want to move backwards, let go, move back. So that's forward, let go, backwards, let go. So you throttle down, goes down. Angle mode, left and right motion. Throttle up, it goes up. So when you want to roll to the right, press a little bit, hold it there, you will go there, let go, go to the left, same thing, let go. So the maximum angle will be fixed by the flight control board. Say it's 45 degrees, it will stay only 45 degrees, it doesn't go boom. Alright, so right, hold it there, let go, left, hold it there, let go. Throttle down, down. Angle mode, flying. So you throttle up, you go to a position. So when you want to move the craft around, you just have to hold the sticks forward, you will move forward, and there is always the tendency for the craft to pull you back, because in angle mode, the most important thing is stabilize position. So when you do that, the flight control board is programmed to try to pull you back to the stabilized position. So there is always a opposing force to your whatever motion. So forward, it will always try to pull you back. So that's why when you release the stick, it goes in that position. So in flying in angle mode, you really do not have to worry about balance. The flight control board will take care of the balance itself. So all you need to do is to move the craft around by moving the pitch and the roll sticks. And also if you want to do the yaw stick. So it has a tendency to balance itself out. So in angle mode flying, you only need to worry about motion, forward, backwards, left, right, and spinning in the axis. So when you finish, just throttle down, goes down. Angle mode, throttle. For every quad, there is usually a sweet spot for throttle, meaning that your craft, when you push your sticks, say to a certain point, your craft will move to a certain point in the space where it's roughly balanced in that position that you feel comfortable with the position of the sticks. So whenever you want to fly any craft, you just have to get used to where your comfortable throttle point is, for you to ensure that your craft is at a distance or at a position in space that you are comfortable with holding that position. So it doesn't mean that just if the stick goes to the middle position, it will usually go up to a certain midpoint in the air that you think it's supposed to go. So it's really up to you to make sure that where you are comfortable with the position of the sticks and where this craft is in the space, that you're comfortable with. So that's the sweet spot for throttle. If you know all that, then you know where your craft position is in relation to the space around it. So once you know that, then you'll be able to control your craft better and properly, because then in your mind you have a mental picture of where your craft is and how you're going to move it around that particular space. Say for example, if you look at the screen now, you have this either a rectangle or a square screen in front of you. So then in your picture, mental picture, then you know particular stick position that can move you to that particular corner, or this corner, or this corner, that corner, up to the maximum height, down to the minimum position, the throttle position. So moving around the space will really depends on where you are comfortable with in terms of that particular sweet throttle position in the air. So throttle down, down. Acro mode. So in acro mode, the most important thing is that you need to balance your quad, and also you move your quad around. The balancing part is the most important in acro mode, whereas in the angle mode, the balancing is taken care of by the flight control board. So in acro mode, you need to constantly think about balance. Movement is a slight movement of the sticks, and that's it. So the rest is balance. So what I mean is that, say if your craft is, you throttle up, and your craft is in the sweet throttle position, say here, and then if you want to move forward, what you need to do is, you need to just go, if you want to move slightly forward, then you move like that, let it go. Don't try to push it forward again, because you don't need to, because as soon as you push a little bit forward, it goes that. So if you want to make sure that it doesn't go forward again, you just put same distance down, you go back up, like that. So don't have the tendency to keep on pushing the sticks like in your angle mode, because you don't need to. The flight control board will not pull you back when you move it in that particular position. So whatever position that you put the craft in, it will stay there. So there is no restrictions in the position, forward position, backwards position, or any left, right, forward, backwards. So if you push all the way up, your craft will go that until you push it back again to a similar distance back, or whatever distance that you need to make sure that your craft goes back to that up position. So there's no restrictions in the position that your craft will move. So that's very important, because for you to know, because you don't overcompensate. Overcompensate meaning that you don't bring your angle mode flying methods into acro mode. So in order to move your craft around, just make sure that go up slightly, you will go up, and have a tendency to stop moving the sticks on the right. So when you move forward a little bit, let go of your stick, just have your thumb a little bit just above the stick so that you're not touching it, so they don't have the tendency to push it. So then if you want it to go back, just slide down, go back like that. So make sure that when you want to balance that this craft is usually in a horizontal position, then it will balance by itself. So if you want to have a slight moving the craft so that it balances out itself, it won't move left right, you just need to control the sticks to make sure that it's right at the horizontal position. And sometimes you also have to move the yaw stick a little bit so that you can then control the direction of the quad. So basically, just to recap, make sure that you need to balance the quad by making sure that this is always horizontal. So making sure that you only move slight movement of the sticks, make slight movement, and then you make it horizontal. And we just remember that every position forward, if you want to bring it back again, you need to have a similar distance position back again. So that's balancing the quad. So once you know how to balance the quad, then you'll be able to move the quad around. With yaw, once it's horizontal, when you start yawing, make sure that you don't, if you want to have it in that particular position when you yaw, make sure you don't touch the stick and just yaw it, and you will stay in that position. You won't simply move around, you will still be balanced. Then you throttle down, it goes down. Acro, craft movement. So when your craft is in the air and say you push your stick forward slightly, release the stick, you will continue to go forward, and if you yaw it, you will still go forward. Say I want to make this illustration a bit extreme, so I won't be talking about slight yawing, so I'll be talking about sharp yawing like this, so that it's much easier to illustrate what I'm trying to say. So you go up, you push the stick slightly forward, and then if you yaw it, now this is the distance, this is the angle that the craft is moving forward. So the craft will still continue to move in that direction, even if you yaw it that. And you can see that the angle is now steeper, so the craft will go a bit faster in that position. So if you yaw it here, position is more or less the same, but maybe a slight angle change, then it will go a bit slower, and then this angle is the same as that other angle. So when you go back to that position, the angle is less, so it still continues to go forward. So when you go forward and you start yawing, the speed will then change according to the angle that the craft is at that particular point in that particular direction. So if you understand that, then you know how to push and control the balance much better when you have movement of the craft in that particular directions. So then you can understand when you have to slow it down a bit in order to make the angle the same as your original angle. So say for example this angle, then you yaw, then the angle is slightly steeper, so you just need to push your stick a little bit back so that it goes the angle slightly lower, then you will go in that particular speed that you wanted it to go initially. So whenever you want to balance, just bring it back. So that's forward motion and also motion in any particular direction. It's a similar concept. Acro, yawing and turning. So when you want to turn your craft in acro mode, usually you use the yaw to turn. So you just yaw it and then push it slightly forward and then turn, push, and then you keep constantly adjusting the quad like that so that you keep balancing it out. Then you keep balancing whatever position that you want to bring it back so that it moves in a certain direction and is balanced. So that's how you turn, and then you balance out the quad using the sticks, and you only need to use the stick in a slight motion. So that's why when you see stick cam of pilots who are flying their quad FPV or line of sight acro, what they do is you see very slight movement on these sticks, and then you see a more movement on the throttle stick and the yawing stick, because that's where all the action takes place, turning, yawing, and this is for balancing. Mostly this is for balancing out when you're turning and yawing. And when you go up, controlling the speed, and then this is just to keep on constantly balancing out your quad according to the movement of your quad. So you will see this repeat many times in many videos. This one is slightly, and you can see that they keep on doing this, and then when they turn they keep on doing, and then according to where the position is, and then they keep on balancing. So that's how you balance your quad, and when you move, you yaw and you turn.